We're going to speak to Renuka Kriplani, who is the Executive Editor Video Content at Autocar India. Thank you so much, Renuka, as always, for taking the time. I'm sure a few of our viewers are wondering why it is that you do get discounts around this time of the year. It has to do with registrations, right?
Sure, Alex. Thanks first and foremost for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. End of the year is generally a great time to buy cars because everybody wants a new year model, so people kind of hold out till January. But honestly, when it's registered in December, people know that the car isn't that different to when it is, when I think people have gotten wiser over the years. So there's lots of deals to be had. I think this time of year because people, the dealers are trying to get rid of their stock and their inventories. Unfortunately, this time around, there isn't that much inventory because, production has been slow from all the manufacturers purely because of the semiconductor problem. So normally there's loads of inventory being offloaded in December. But this year, it's not as much still. There are deals around and it is a good time to buy a car if you're looking for one. I think, this is the time to go hunting for a new car.
But, I also want to, before we get into the car deals that are currently there, and I take your point, it's a little harder this time around. And I think that was the case in the festive season as well when we spoke. The discounts really aren't too significant. Where do we stand right now in your conversations with automakers? Are you getting a sense that perhaps the situation with semiconductors is easing out just a tad bit, or are things still quite tight?
Well, things are still quite tight according to the manufacturers, and they don't see a change happening till mid next year. They don't see things normalizing and coming back to status quo till mid next year as far as production is concerned. But I had a very interesting conversation while I was in USA, and I think it's an interesting point to be made because manufacturers have kind of realized that, because of the shortage, there are less discounts being offered. Their cars are selling at greater value. So then why flood it again with a whole lot of inventory and then have to discount it? So, you never know. They might hold out a little while longer before, kind of ramping things up and let the demand build up a bit because, honestly, for manufacturers, they can get full value for their cars. So it's always better that way.
That's an interesting point, and the perspective from the other side, which I think is quite interesting. But having said that, let's go back to the deals that are on offer. On average, in terms of percentage, are there some good ones still to be found, and what names would you suggest our viewers look at?
Yeah, I think in the luxury segment, there are good ones to be found. I mean, you can look at Volvo, you can look at Audi, and I think you can get quite a lot off on the cars there towards the end of the year. So I think, Mercedes has gone for a sales model, which is completely different. So unfortunately, that won't be as easy because now it's all centralized. But I think as far as, the big names are concerned, like BMW, Audi, Volvo, the XC40 is almost 3.2 lakhs off just now. Now, that's quite a lot. So I think there are deals to be had. But in the lower segments, I think you can get, around 50,000 off easily on a car these days. Products like the Renault Duster and the Nissan Kicks are even offering up to like a lakh off. So there are good discounts to be had.